Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. I just want to do a little short, some short videos on the vehicles that I've got, or the vehicles I've got in the collection. A very small collection, but it's a collection nevertheless. And the one point I want to actually put over with these cars is that every one of them, apart from our modern cars, were complete wrecks. They were basically ready for the scrapyard. This E-Type, this 1966 E-Type in particular, was very, very poor condition. And if you're interested, if you go and have a look on YouTube, it's some years ago I put it up, but if you look for Jaguar E-Type for 4 years in 4 minutes, which is what the duration of the video is, 4 minutes, it shows how bad this car was when I got it. So when I decided I wanted to do this after I was retiring, I bought the car a year before I actually retired, and I didn't touch it because I wanted to get on with it and be fully away from work. And it didn't actually take me 4 years to complete it. Well, it did, but it didn't. I didn't actually work on it for 4 years solid. I just wanted to get that point over. I worked on it basically between kind of October to February or March. So probably in reality I probably put 2 years into it. Yeah, probably 2 years. But it was over a period of 4 years, because obviously in the summer, you know, we had gardens to do and building work and so on. As I said, this is a 1966 Series 1. It's a 4.2. The reason I actually bought the car in such a bad condition was I've done a lot of research on the E-Types, which was the car that I really wanted, this or an XK150. But I've done a lot of research, and it seemed to me, looking at all the information, one of the very first things I did was join the E-Type club, and I think it's very important to get involved with the club because excuse me, there's always going to be people there that can give you advice, put you onto the right car, or give you some tips. And the tips and advice that I got was just fantastic, and this is why I started making the YouTube videos, to try and give something back to other people. And it does appear that a few people have written back to me and said, you know, I really appreciate this or that or whatever. So we tried to show all the downsides as well as the upsides. But to go back to the reason why I bought it in such a poor condition was, one, obviously the price. When they're in such a poor condition, nobody really wants them, or they want too much money for them or whatever. And you have to remember that regardless of the condition of the car, the panels are going to be the same. So whether it be a Series 1 car or a Series 2 or a Series 3, the panels are going to be approximately the same, and they all tend to rot. Like Minis, they tend to rot in exactly the same places. So I wanted to buy a car where I knew it inside out, and it would be a complete nut and bolt ground up restoration, so I knew exactly what I was getting. I wasn't buying a car that was restored. The whole point of the exercise was for me to do it and build it myself and get the satisfaction of building it. So, as I said, what I want to do is, with these videos, is just do a little short video on the reason I've got them and why I did them, and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is that everything I have was basically scrap or a basket case. I have not bought anything that was in good condition and was running or anything like that. And I think that's important, because it just shows you what you can take something from. You can make a silk purse from a sow's ear if you put the time, the dedication, the love into it, the passion. You got the passion for it, and of course the money and the space and everything else that goes with that. And so, as I said, if you'd like to have a look at this car when I first got it, it's only a montage of pictures, but there's hundreds, literally hundreds of YouTube, or my YouTube videos on this car, taking it from not the day I got it, but almost when I started to strip it down. In fact, the very first ones are from when I stripped it down to when I've got it finished, and there's plenty of others in between showing different things. But the one that you should really look at is Jaguar E-Type 4 years in 4 minutes, because that will give you a really good indication just how poor the car was. As you can see, I've got the number plates back on today because now the weather's great and we're going to start enjoying it again. And I think I'll take this car down and get it detailed, because it really needs a massive clean. There's lots of dust on it, even though it's had 2 covers over it over the winter. It does need a good clean, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you it in another video. But I hope you'll join us for the other stuff. So we've got the XK150. Well, this is the next car I'll be doing in the next video, and going through this one, the age and and how it was and so on and so forth. Again, there's very many videos on this car. Unfortunately, we've had to stop the work on it at the moment because I'm waiting for the interior to be finished up, and I have to drive to the UK next month to pick it all up. But yeah, we've got the new glass in for the Speedo and quite a few other things, but we really need the interior before we can finish it up, because the interior goes all over the windscreen aperture and so on and so forth. So, and also it needs a really good clean. Yeah, so this will be featured on the next one. It's running beautifully. I could drive it, apart from the fact there's no seat in it. I'd have to sit on the floor. But this one will be featured in another second video. It'll just be short and sweet, but just to give you an idea of what is possible and what you can end up with if you yeah, put some time into them. So this Mini Cooper will be on the video as well. It'll be on a separate video. Again, there's quite a few on this where I completely rebuilt the shell. I basically customized this exactly the way I wanted it from many years ago when I was a young guy, and my first car was a Mini. I've always wanted to do one a certain way, and I've put some features into this which are kind of unique, I think, particularly the side opening boot and the fact that you can take the rear seat swabs out and use the back seat as with a cargo net, as you can put camping gear in it. Not that I go camping anymore, but you know, if you wanted to put a lot of luggage in there and have it safe, you can do that. There's an actual aluminium door on the back, which I'll show that in a future video. So this will also be on one of the next videos. This will be another vehicle that I'll do in this little set of things that I have in the garage, or cars that I have. This is this track Mini. Predominantly it was built as a hill climb Mini. We haven't done any hill climbing with it yet, but what we are doing a major race this year. On the 30th of September, we've got an invite to Ventilspiel, which is a kind of amateur race. Some beautiful cars, there's E-Types, XK150s, Lolas, single-seater Formula 1, 2, 3 cars, all kinds of stuff, which obviously I'll do a big video on. But we went there in 2022 and I was so impressed with what was going on. It's at the Red Bull Ring, Spielberg, and yeah, we're in Group 3. And obviously we'll take the little mini moat with us. This is an electric kiddies car from a Toylander. There's a company in the UK called Toylander that make wooden cars where you can buy the whole kit, or you can make the wood yourself and just buy the motors and the wheels. But I had a Land Rover body built on it, which I made myself. I changed it from their original plan, made a long wheelbase one. And then I came up with this idea with a Moke, which is made of metal now. And it has that running gear in it. So yeah, so we'll go over this and show you what we're up to, and we'll also show you when we go to Pannonia Ring, because I want to do some pre-testing. I've got to put some new wheels and tyres on it, which I'll be getting in the UK when I go and get all the other stuff. And yeah, we'll show you exactly how the car goes. And again, there's quite a lot of videos on this one as well, so I hope it's all that's of some interest to you guys, and you can pick and choose what you want to look at. This is another one that we're doing up at the moment. Basically, we're just making this, what they call in the automotive industry as a body in white, and it literally is in white, because the white primer tends to show everything up. So we've built a lot of stuff on this car. The engine's been redone, and as you can see, the cab is there, and the cab has got the main amount of work to do to it. But there's lots of things we have to do. It's probably another year, more than a year's work in this. But what I'm waiting for at the moment is to try and get it built back up so I can take some photographs and then send them off to Citroën and see if they'll give me a heritage document for it, because I've got all the chassis tags, body tags and so on. And if I can get that and legally get it on the road, then I can really do the fine detail. What I don't want to do is end up with a vehicle that I can't put on the road and it sits in the garage as an ornament. It's too much money and too much time to put into something that's just going to be an ornament. I want to be able to use it, and if that happens, then we will really go to town and do the details and beautiful paint job and everything else on it. So that's something hopefully you'll look to in the future. But we completely built. There was virtually nothing left. There was no cab on it. It was a car originally. It was a saloon car, and we've built all that back ourselves. In fact, everything that you see on it is built. Yeah, hopefully you'll come and join us when we start putting this back together. As usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and enjoy your cars. Take care.